Hey, what's going on, everybody? Desir here with our round 2 matchup. We're going against Pole today. And even though I did lose my last matchup, I'm still hopeful I can go 2-1 at least for this week. Then I can try to go 2-1 next week and hopefully get to my ultimate goal of that top 200. Now, we do only have 5 matches left for this season, so I have 2 more this week. I have 3 next week, and then the new season will start up. I'll be sure to do infographics on that one just like I do on every other season. If you do like that, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and check out my opponent today, Pole. So Pole is about 78 million TCP. At this point, I'm about 79 million TCP. I was a little off when I was checking my TCP. I didn't realize it jumped up a little bit. So this is gonna basically be like a punch across. However, I don't want to take him lightly. I need to try to make sure to be as flawless as I can on these attacks. So let's go ahead and check out the defenses that he's using. In stage 1, they are using the X-Men with Tangled Web. So that's Gambit, Rogue, Phoenix, along with the 2099 and Spiderweaver. Stage 2, they have Spider Society. Stage 3, they have the rest of the X-Treme X-Men with Jubilee. Stage 4, they have the 3-piece Out of Time with Doom and Dormammu. Stage 5 is Infinity Watch. And Stage 6 is the 3-piece Secret Defenders with Morgan and Emma. For stage 1, I'm going to just use my Superior 6 along with Vulture. That should be able to take care of this team fairly efficiently, while still being able to save my Apocalypse and Super Skrull for a different stage. Vulture will be going first in this. I'm going to target Spiderweaver and do the special. That's going to flip the buffs. Green Goblin Classic is next up. I'm going to target Rogue and use the ultimate. That's going to put the vulnerable on her, and now all of them are going to have that trauma with ability block. However, it does look like Gambit resisted the trauma. Kraven is up. I'm going to use the special on Rogue. That's going to throw ability block on her again and do a nice AoE hit. Doc Ock is out. I'm going to use the special to summon the Shocker. Now that Spider Slayer's up, I'm going to use the ultimate on Gambit so that way I can try to one-shot him. And Gambit is now finished off. Vulture's up. I'm going to use the ultimate. That does kill the Spiderweaver. Shocker, I'm going to use the special to get offense up. And now I'm going to use the ultimate with Shocker to do a turn rewind. Vulture's going to basic into Rogue. And it's going to tunnel Rogue down because she does have that taunt up. And now I just have to worry about the Phoenix. Kraven, I'm going to use the ultimate. Phoenix is dead. Now I just have to kill the Dark Phoenix. So she does unfortunately get the special. And Doc Ock, I'm going to use the ultimate on her to extend the debuffs. Spider Slayer, I'm going to use the special. Luckily his turn did come up, so I was able to get a nice heal from the regens on him. Vulture basics into Dark Phoenix, and now she is dead. For stage 2, I'm going to use my Super Skrull with the Hive Mind. I don't really like having to use Super Skrull here. That's why Spider Society is such a good defense in stage 2, because it usually does pull a Super Skrull or an Apocalypse. Apocalypse would be the better counter. However, I do need Apocalypse when I go against that Black Knight team, so that's why I'm using this team here. Super Skrull will be going first in this matchup. Because of the placement on here, I'm going to target the Penny and use the special from Super Skrull to put that exposed and ability block on her. Super Skrull's back up. I'm going to target Spider-Man Pavitra and use the basic to chain across. Void Knight is now up. I'm going to target the Spider-Man Pavitra again and use the ultimate. That did bunch everybody back together, and now I can kind of work in the middle where Penny is and start doing AoE attacks from there. Super Skrull is back up. I'm going to target Spider-Man Noir and do the ultimate. And now that I'm on Penny, I'm going to use Gwenum's ultimate, and I am going to start knocking people in red here shortly. Peter B. Parker already dropped, so now I had the speed bar. Red Goblin's now going to use the ultimate, and that's going to knock more people into the red. Now I'm going to use his special, and that's going to finish off the Penny as well. Now I just have to worry about the Ghost Spider and the Spider-Man Noir. Overall, this counter did end up working pretty well for me. Some of my efficiency did end up going lacking though because of the amount of turns and how Carnage is so low on health. For stage 3, I'm going to use my Masters of Evil with Echo. That's a pretty good counter into the X-Treme X-Men depending on who the 5th is. When it's Jubilee like this is probably the best option, and you don't even have to use your Apocalypse on here or a Superior 6 team or even Cabal. So this is a great option for where you can actually use that Masters of Evil. Titania will be going first in this matchup. I want to target Forge and use the ultimate to ability block him. Kang is up next. I'm going to use the special on Forge again. Now that Moonstone's up, I'm going to target Nightcrawler and use the special. That's going to put a trauma stun on him so I don't have to worry about his health trigger. Now that Absorbed Man is up, I'm going to target Forge and use the ultimate. That did end up calling Titania in to finish him off. Titania's back up. I'm going to target Nightcrawler and use the special. That does call Kang in to finish him off as well. Kang is back up. I'm going to use the ultimate and just target Jubilee to get rid of her. Echo's up. I'm going to just use the basic on Cyclops and now he's gone. And now I just have to worry about Sunspot. Moonstone does the ultimate on him. That does call the assist in, and now Sunspot's dead. This was very clean and pretty efficient as well. For stage 4, I'm going to use the Eternals, Spider-Man Big Time, Apocalypse, and Nova. This is a pretty good counter and should work pretty well against this team. So the Hail Mary play here is that Spider-Man Big Time's going to use the ultimate and hopefully get some good flips on the Black Knight. The taunt and immunity is still there, but I was able to get the defense down off. Icarus is going to use the ultimate, and that did end up flipping his buffs. That also ended up pushing the Doom. So now Doom is doing his basics. He does the special right here. And looks like Peggy Carter is one that's going to be taking the ride on this one. Now that it's Apocalypse's turn, I'm going to stay targeted on the Black Knight and use the ultimate. The ISO attack did end up putting a stun on him. I did have to use the Falcon Punch on the Captain America. Nova ends up doing the special on Black Knight. And now Cersei's up, so I'm going to use the ultimate to do some turn rewinds. That did take one life off of the Doctor Doom. Big Time is back up. I'm going to use the special on the Black Knight, so that way he got rid of his revive once. Apocalypse does the special into the Black Knight and gets rid of him and Doom again. Now I just have to worry about the Peggy Carter and the Dorm. For stage 5, I'm going to use Pegasus into the Infinity Watch here. It's a fairly good counter, it does take up a lot of efficiency, but it's usually a safe play. Here the Infinity Watch is going to start their barrage into the Pegasus team because Pegasus is fairly slow outside of raids. They're able to weather this storm, and then they can kind of punch them back pretty good. Now that it's Kestrel's turn, I'm going to stay targeted on the Gamora and use the special. That unfortunately did not get any defense downs on them, but it did a decent amount of damage, especially on Philovel and Moondragon that you see. Ironheart Mark II's up, I'm going to use the ultimate. Rescue's up, I'm going to use the ultimate there as well to flip those negative effects into positive effects. Unfortunately, Moondragon there ended up using her special, and she did end up taking all her buffs away. Iron Man Infinity War is up, I'm going to use the ultimate on the other team. That is a nice AoE hit. Kestrel's back up, I'm going to use the ultimate on Gamora. That does almost one-shot her. The Ironheart Mark II's up, I'm going to target the Moondragon and use the special. And the splash damage did end up killing Gamora, so one life of her is gone. Rescue, I do the special as well. Now that it's Darkhawk's turn, I'm going to use the ultimate. That's going to do a nice turn rewind to them. And here you do see that they are hard targeting down the Darkhawk. He was able to survive that barrage. Kestrel is back up. I'm going to use the basic on Moondragon, and that does end up killing her off. Rescue, I'm going to use the basic into Gamora, and that does chain and put a slow as well on Philovel. The Iron Man Infinity War is back up. I'm going to use the ultimate again. Kestrel's up, I'm going to use the special on Philovel. That does end up killing the Gamora off, and one life of Nebula is gone as well. The Ironheart Mark II's up, I'm going to use the ultimate, and that ends up finishing the match. For stage 6, I'm going to use the Cabal with Archangel and Lizard. This is just a very quick, efficient match against this team. Lizard's going to start the match. I'm going to use the ultimate. That's going to strip all those positive effects away. And that does end up killing Emma, which already gets me a nice turn rewind from the Archangel. The Iron Patriot's up. I'm going to use the special. That's going to flip those buffs and put a trauma and defense down on everybody. For Neymar's turn, I'm going to target the Robbie and use the ultimate. That does end up killing him, and the ping end up killing the Black Cat. Leader, I use the special, and the match is over. And it looks like my defense did really good on this one. My opponent dropped 3 matches, so they got a 48,951. I wasn't as efficient as I would like. I got a 50,170. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defenses and see what held for me. For stage 1, I got an 8363, so that Superior 6 with Vulture actually did really good on this one. For stage 2, I got an 8360. So this wasn't as efficient as I would like. Usually on this type of matchup, I like to be in the mid-60s for the point range on that. For stage 3, I got an 8363. So this was a pretty good hit. It could have been a little bit more efficient, but that was more on the health because they ended up hitting Kang and Echo in this one. For stage 4, I got an 8355. The health bonus really got me on this one. The turn wasn't as bad, and I did get the one shot, so I'll definitely take it. For stage 5, I got an 8358. Pegasus takes a lot of turns. That's the downside of using this one, but I wanted to make sure I got the one-shots for this matchup. And for stage 6, I get an 83-71. This team just does very well into the Secret Defender's composition right now. Usually get a very high efficiency win, which is why I like saving this team for this matchup specifically. As for my defenses, they use new warriors into my Mercs for Money with X-Men team that I was testing out. They got a pretty good efficiency at an 83-68, so I'm definitely going to be pulling them after this. I just wanted to see how the 3-piece right now does on defense. For stage 2, they also used the Super Skrull with Hive Mind into the Spider Society. They got a less efficiency than me because they did lose Red Goblin. They got an 83-57. For stage 3, they used their Superior 6 into my X-Men with Quicksilver. This got them at 83-65. For stage 4, it looks like they struggled a bit on here. They initially used Masters of Evil with Quicksilver, and that failed. They went back in and actually did the sack on it, and then they went in with a cleanup. This got them a 75-45. For stage 5, it looks like they did Pegasus. They did end up dropping that, so they backed out, went back in. This got them a 79-58. I'm really curious what happened here. My guess is that they actually lost maybe Rescue, and they couldn't really bring any back to recover for that, so they ended up backing out and going back in. And for stage 6, they used Cabal with Apocalypse and Spider-Man Big Time. The team I had here was my Secret Defenders, and I threw Black Knight in there, and it did actually very well. This got them at 83-58, so it did suck quite a bit of efficiency out, and it ended up taking Apocalypse and Cabal teams. That's a win. So I'm pretty happy with some of the defenses that I had there. I definitely wanted to make an adjustment after seeing that the stage 1 didn't do as well. We'll see how the round 3 ends up going with the changes that I made. Because I will be 1-1, I really want to make sure I win the next matchup, so hopefully I have a pretty good opponent and we have a pretty good match as well. If you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.